Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Anti-Cheese, where we teach you how to hold everything that gets thrown at you in your ladder sessions. In today's episode, we're going to be specifically focusing on Zerg versus Zerg, and I'm going to go over 3 of the most common builds that you're going to see in terms of aggression and cheese. We're going to cover 12 pool, we're going to cover 13-12, and we're going to cover 14-13-12, or the other variant 15-14-13. Now, obviously this is a lot of numbers, and for those of you who don't understand what they are, that's okay. We're going to quickly and briefly explain them. So, as I've mentioned before on Reddit, I'm not a pro gamer. I feel that as a mid-grandmaster player, I'm more than qualified to talk about this stuff, but there are people that are much more qualified than me that do this kind of thing, specifically guys like Vibe and Pig and Hearthstone and Lambo. Like, those are the guys you want to go to when you want an incredibly in-depth answer. But for those of you who are crunched on time or just want the short and sweet version, I'm your guy, and that's where I'm coming in. So we're going to cover every single build in a 5-point step. These 5 points are going to be what it is, so what the build is and how it works, what scouting it looks like, our initial response, how to hold the build, and then how to follow up. So without further ado, let's jump right into our first one, the 12 pool. Just before we start, I just want to say a quick shout out. Thank you so much to ZvZ. He's a great guy. He spent a couple hours with me going over a few builds, helping me out so that I could get some footage to demonstrate things for you. Please check out his stream here. I'll put a link. Please go just follow him on Twitch, watch him, say hello. He's a great guy. He really helped me out in this video. Thank you so much. So, 12 pool and ZvZ. Let's just keep it short and simple. It's not the same as a 12 pool in Zerg vs Protoss. The goal for a 12 pool in ZvZ is to simply snipe your opponent's natural while expanding behind it and droning like a madman, so that you can economically get ahead. If you can save your natural and not lose too many drones, you are in a better position and you will win the game. If you lose your natural, provided you do not lose any drones, you might still be able to win the game. You will just need to counterattack. So let's go over it. So this is a Masters League Zerg player, and he is going to 12 pool meta. So we're going to do this in real time. All we need to do is 16 hatch. We'll scout the 12 pool coming. We're going to pull the drones, and we're going to defend. Remember, 16 hatch, these 2 drones get made, but we're not rallying one because it's not that much faster. Sorry, it's a little bit slower and it kind of defeats the purpose. So we pull one down and we make our hatchery. Then we go up to 18 drones. And at 18, we make a gas. And the last drone that we made can be rallied to make our spawning pool. Now, pay close attention to the overlords in your minimap because we don't really have anything going on right now. We don't need to focus our attention on anything crazy. So watch the overlords. We're looking for the lings being sent across the map. Gas pops, let's put 3 drones in. In ZvZ, we never pull off gas. Perfect. We're up to 19 drones. And there we have it. The 12 pool is coming. We make an overlord. Because we're at 19 supply. Stay calm. Keep your cool. And we wait. Let's highlight 13 drones. 8, 9, 10, 11. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 drones. Remember, we don't want to fight if we don't have to. It's fine. He can take some damage on the hatchery. Okay, so he's not going for the natural. This can happen occasionally. So we just want a drone drill. So we can stack all of our drones up like this so that they can all attack at once. All we're doing is buying time for the lings. And once our lings pop, we can fight with our drones. Okay, back up. We're not at risk of losing the natural. We're about to have a massive thing of lings pop. And because he's only on 1 hatch production, we'll be able to outproduce him. And we have defender's advantage. So, now we go. Bada boom, bada bing. Yes, we've spent a lot of larva on drones. Or on lings, sorry. However, we are on 2 hatch production, and we are still ahead economically. And we did not lose our natural. From here, there's lots of different things we can do. But realistically, we have this giant ball of lings. So what do? Let's make some queens. Let's make some drones. And let's move across the map for the counterattack. He has less drones than us. He did not kill any drones. So we don't have anything to worry about. We're in a fantastic position. Our speed was a bit delayed. I purposely delayed it because I wanted to spend the money on more lings so that we can do this. And now he's forced into making a bunch more lings with his larva when he's already behind on drones. This is the last thing he wants to do. And now, ironically, even though he tried to cheese us, we're in the power position. You don't really need to take these trades. I'm just shaving off a bunch of lings so that he's forced to use even more larva on making his lings. Meanwhile, what are we doing? We're making drones. That's it. It's as simple as that. I don't really want to overcomplicate it. But look, all of his larva is not going towards drones right now. So we don't need to lose these lings. We just need to threaten him. We just need to be on his side of the map so that all of his larva is going back into lings. As you can see, more and more are popping while we're still droning. We do not have to make any more zerglings until we lose these. So we just need to keep them alive. That's it. So that was an incredibly simple rundown of 12 pool and ZvZ. But that's what we're doing here. We're keeping it simple. Next up, we have 1312. 1312 looks a lot like a 12 pool. However, the exception is they're getting a gas geyser so that they can get ling speed and banelings. The initial hit is still going to be with those 10 lings, but once they back up, when we pull the drones and we threaten them, they're going to morph banelings and they're going to come back in and they're going to try and kill off the drones, kill off the hatchery, and then expand and choke you out. In this game, we flipped it. I 1312 him. Let's check it out. All right, so ignoring the chat because we were getting chummy. This is 1312. We're going to watch it from his point of view. Again, this is a high master Zerg player, so this guy knows what he's doing. My obs cut out, and this one was not recorded live, so we are doing it through the replays. Okay. So, how do we scout it? Well, again, just like 12 pool, we are going to see the lings running across with our overlords. He sees it, he notices it, he stays calm. His initial response is exactly the same as 12 pool. The only thing that's changing is the follow-up, because now they're going to have ling speed, and now they're going to have banelings. So, what do we do to adjust? We need our queens, and we need to have them both at our natural, and we need to snipe the banelings. The queens need to be targeting the banelings, and we need to do our best to split up our lings and get good trades. We can't be sacrificing too many lings to banelings. Obviously, this is easier said than done, and it comes with practice. Ling Bane Micro is a bitch, but it's something we're gonna have to get used to. Okay, so let's slow this down. This is exactly like the 12 pool. I'm attacking the natural, I'm trying to do as much damage as I can, but I'm only on 1 hatch production, so I can't commit to these lings. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's not committing to a fight with these drones, he's just body checking me. He's forcing me to back up. He's buying time until his queens pop and his lings come out, at which point I'm forced to move back. So my ling speed's done, the queen pops. I'm not able to snipe it, I don't get the surround, so I'm forced to back up. So he does the smart thing and he moves his drones back up. Pause here. Once you see ling speed, again, this is the biggest giveaway. I don't have a natural, so I'm much more committed. This is 1312. But if you didn't somehow notice this, as soon as you see ling speed, you know that this is 1312 now. This is no longer just a 12 pool, and this is a lot more committed than a simple 12 pool. So, what do we have to do? Move our drones back up. We have to move our queens down to the natural, and we have to snipe the banelings with the queens. We have to do our best to get good connects. So we can see the banelings are coming in, and the banelings are realistically there just as a threat. Now, I could commit and go into the main and try and get much damage done to the drone line, but I know it's unlikely. So what do? I'm doing the same thing he did with his workers. I'm body checking him with my banelings. They're just a threat, while my lings go up and snipe the hatchery. In this position, specifically against 1312, you are not incredibly behind if you lose the hatchery. I need to say that, because if you take a look, I'm on 13 drones. Meanwhile, he is on 18. He is still outmining me, and we are both on one base production now. Economically, he is still ahead. So take a breath. When you're in his position, our best response is do exactly what he did. We have to get our own bane nest. We have to just play safe. Once we have lost the hatchery, both these queens need to come back up. And now it's the same strategy, just on the high ground. These queens need to be ready to snipe the banelings. He's getting a safety spine, which I don't hate. And we're just making lings of our own and banelings. We are still economically ahead. We still have more drones than our opponent. So we don't need to freak out yet. The only way that we're going to immediately lose this game is if we run down that ramp and lose all of our lings to a baneling. So that was an incredibly simple rundown of 1312. Not terribly different initially from 12 pool, but the follow-up is a bit different. Simple, easy, we can beat it. Coming up next, we have 14, 13, 12. For those of you who don't understand what that is, I don't blame you. 14, 13, 12 is a 14 hatchery, 13 gas, 12 pool. This is a pure ling flood. The reason it works and why it's done this way is with the use of Jedi mind tricks. You're trying to fool your opponent into thinking that you went for an economic hatch first, aka 16 or 17 hatch, and that you were playing standard, when in reality, you got a very early hatchery, not to make drones, purely for production reasons, so that we can get a ton more lings out, and then out of nowhere, surprise attack our opponent with a ton of lings. Let's take a look at it. So, 14, 13, 12 has two big giveaways on how to scout it, and we're going to go over it. Remember how I said we're always sending our overlords in a straight line in ZvZ? Well, our opponents are doing the same. You'll notice as our overlords are going across, especially in a map like this where the rush path is straight down the middle so that the overlords are going to pass, much like in PvP how the two scouting probes kind of past each other, so are our overlords. So if we're paying attention, our first overlord is going to see his first overlord, which we saw. We passed each other. But our second overlord doesn't see his second overlord. Now, this could be a bit of a bait, so it's not always, concrete. But if for any reason you see his second overlord delayed, we automatically know that this is a cheese. Why? Because there's no other reason why you would delay your overlord that much. But if we don't see it at all, we can still somewhat safely assume the same thing, but it's not concrete, because just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. He might have sent it down a weird path. But if we do see it and it's late, we automatically know. That's why anyone who uses this build at a higher level, that second overlord is going on the most obnoxious path because it cannot be seen. It's a dead giveaway. So that's the first scouting tip. The second scouting tip is because he got his hatchery so early, we are going to see what it looks like. So from my point of view, my overlord gets there. Not only is his hatchery already done, look how far up the creep has spread. In comparison, my hatchery just finished. If you can see the creep, it's just past these breakable rocks. Whereas his is quite significantly further past those breakable rocks. And I 16 hatched. Therefore, his hatchery went down earlier than mine. so I can already safely know, hey, this is 14, 13, 12, or 15, 14, 13. The only difference is 15, 14, 13 is technically a little bit more economic. And I mean, it's the variant that I use, but it hits a couple seconds slower. And I mean like maybe 1 or 2 seconds slower. I don't know the exact math, but it's pretty damn close. The only very big difference there is they're using an extractor trick to get 1 extra drone. So as soon as I see this, I automatically know what I'm going up against. I did not see the second Overlord. As you can see, it's way over here. What is my initial response? Well, stop making drones, start making lings. That's it. We're going to get a Baneling nest of our own because he's pulling off gas. Like I said, this is a pure ling flood. They only have 14 drones. So all of those 14 drones are on minerals. He's got no gas income. He's hiding his lings to pocket them so that we can't scout them as easily. He's even showing these ones just to sell it a bit more that it looks normal. He even pulled a couple drones down from the main just to try and sell this as much as possible. He's only got 1 queen, but he produced it of the natural to make it look even more normal. But I already know. And you do too. Because we know that the hatchery was early, the second Overlord was missing. We know what this is now. It is 14, 13, 12. We just need to make our own lings. We need to hold down the Z key, keep up with our injects. We have 2 queens to his 1. We have 19 drones to his 14. We are ahead, and we have gas, so we can get banelings. He's going to have more lings than us initially. All we need to do is do the dance. We need to body check. We need to, you know, if we have to fight, we have to fight, but we're just realistically looking to force him back, buying as much time as we can until we can get a good number of lings out and we have defender's advantage and we can just take the fight and win. And from there, our follow-up is just simply a counterattack. When he's losing his lings, he does not have the economy that we do. He cannot as easily afford to reproduce his Zerglings. We have the 2 queens here because I don't want him to get up the ramp. We have the Baneling nest. I'm not really committing to a fight because his ling speed's earlier than mine. I'm just trying to buy time. So we're taking a fight with our queens. Queens are huge when it's ling versus ling. And yes, we lose a queen. Yes, that sucks. But guess what? We killed all of his Zerglings. So now the rest of his lings are trickling in little by little while we have defender's advantage. We have our Banelings up. We have held. We are still on 19 drones to his 14. This is an incredibly all-in committed build. The only thing he's going to make are Zerglings, and he's going to make them until he wins the game or loses the game. That's it. We don't need to make any more drones. We don't need to make a third hatch. We just need to continue making more lings than him and counterattack once we win. We will win because we have more money. We can easily keep producing lings. We have defender's advantage because we're still at home. So all of our units are popping while his are trickling and running across the map. That's it. Simple, short, sweet. So that does it for this episode of the Anti-Cheese. I really hope you guys learned something and I hope you enjoyed this. If you have something, if you have a question or comment, anything like that, please comment below. I will happily get back to you all as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much. Good luck. Have fun.